If you think leaving a manipulator ends the manipulation, let me shatter that illusion. Leaving doesn't break their control. It threatens it. And nothing scares a manipulator more than losing access to someone they could once control. You think they want you back because they love you? They don't. They want you back because losing you means losing the supply they built their identity around. And they will do whatever it takes, psychologically, emotionally, and strategically, to pull you back. Today, I'm going to expose the exact tactics they use the moment they feel you slipping away. No filters, no sugarcoating, just the raw truth most people aren't ready to hear. When you walk away from a manipulator, they don't sit there reflecting on their behavior. They don't think, maybe I treated them badly, maybe I should change. Here's what really happens inside their mind. They feel injured, not guilty. Manipulators experience your departure as an insult to their ego. They don't ask, what did I do wrong? They ask, how dare they leave me? Your absence is not emotional loss for them, it's a bruise to their pride. And the moment they realize they no longer control you, they panic. Not because they miss you, but because without your attention and emotional availability, they lose the very power that held their identity together. So they instantly switch into reacquisition mode. They don't want to fix anything, they want to restore dominance. Manipulators come back for 3 reasons, and none of them are love. Reason 1, you were an easy target. You responded quickly, you shared deeply, you forgave easily, and you tolerated too much. To a manipulator, that's emotional gold. Losing you means losing a predictable source of validation. Reason 2, your absence exposes their insecurity. They don't know who they are without someone to control. When you detach, their identity collapses. Reason 3, they can't accept defeat. Manipulators don't view breakups emotionally, they view them competitively. They think, I'll get them back. I always do. Now let's expose the 9 stages manipulators use to pull you back. This is the part almost nobody understands, and it's why people fall into the same cycle over and over again. Phase 1, the silent observer phase. After you leave, they don't rush to contact you. They watch. Your online status, your photos, your stories, your friends, even your silence. They're analyzing your emotional state like a scientist. They want to know if you're suffering, moving on, or vulnerable enough to be pulled back in. Manipulators always watch before acting. They strike only when they sense weakness. Phase 2, the fake change rehearsal. Before they reach out, they prepare the new version of themselves they plan to present. Calm, self-aware, apologetic, understanding. They practice lines like, I've been reflecting, I realized where I went wrong, I'm trying to grow, or can we talk for closure? It's not growth, it's packaging. They are shaping themselves into the version they know you desperately wished they were. Phase 3, the soft re-entry. They don't come back aggressively. They test the emotional door with gentle taps. Hey, hope you're okay, or saw something that reminded me of you, or can we talk for a minute? The goal isn't reconnection, the goal is response. If you reply with anything at all, even something small like, I'm good, they feel reassured you're still accessible. Phase 4, the remorse performance. This is one of the most dangerous points. They suddenly appear sincere and guilt-ridden. They say things like, I'm sorry, I hurt you, you didn't deserve that, I'm understanding myself now, or I want to be better. It feels real, but it's rehearsed. They're not apologizing to heal the relationship, they're apologizing because it works. They know it lowers your guard faster than anything else. Phase 5, the new version bait. They now present the exact opposite of everything you complained about. If you wanted affection, they become affectionate. If you wanted stability, they become consistent. If you wanted honesty, they overshare. They are not becoming better, they are becoming strategic. This new version exists only long enough to hook you again. Phase 6, the emotional hook.
After a few conversations, they drop emotional bombs, like, "I miss us," "No one understands me like you," "I felt safe with you," or "I can't replace you." These lines trigger old memories, old chemistry, and old dopamine patterns. This confusion is not love, it's addiction resurfacing. Phase 7, the crisis move. If none of the above pulls you back, expect a sudden crisis, a tragedy, a breakdown, a confession, a fear of losing you forever. They use emergency to activate your empathy, and your empathy is their favorite doorway back into your life. Phase 8, the blame reversal. Once they regain enough access, the mask begins to slip. Suddenly, you are the problem. You abandoned me. You gave up too easily. You were too emotional. You never understood me. They rewrite the entire story to make themselves the victim, and when you start defending yourself, they know they've regained leverage. When you defend, you stay. Phase 9, the control reset. Once they feel their power restored, everything goes back to the old pattern. Messages slow down, affection fades, the new version disappears, the inconsistency returns, and you sit there wondering why it feels exactly like before. It feels the same because this was the goal. They didn't come back to rebuild the relationship, they came back to reset their control. Here's the truth most people overlook. You don't go back because they changed. You go back because you want the beginning again. You don't ignore red flags because you don't see them. You ignore them because you don't want to lose the feeling of being wanted. Your heart responds, but your brain shuts off. You confuse manipulation with destiny. You confuse chaos with connection, and you mistake their vulnerability for authenticity. It's not real vulnerability. It's a tactic. Let's go deeper into the psychology behind their return. Manipulators rely heavily on your attachment wounds. They know your patterns. They know your loneliness. They know your fear of abandonment. They know exactly what emotional buttons to press because you revealed them early on. They weaponize unpredictability because your brain bonds faster to inconsistency than stability. They survive on emotional dominance. They return because losing you means losing their identity. And they return because you're predictable. You overgive, overexplain, overforgive, hope for change, and fear being alone. And most importantly, they return because your boundaries aren't solid. Manipulators don't come back to strong people. They come back to people who leave emotional doors open. Now here's the only way to permanently break the cycle. Block access without explanation. No long messages, no closure talks, no emotional speeches, just a closed door. Stop trying to be the bigger person. They exploit your empathy every time. Stop romanticizing the beginning. The beginning was scripted, not genuine. Stop waiting for closure. They don't want closure, they want re-entry. Stop believing their version of your story. Their perspective isn't the truth, it's manipulation. And most importantly, rebuild your self-worth. If you valued yourself fully, a manipulator would never have access to you in the first place. Manipulators don't pull you back because they love you. They pull you back because they love control. They don't return because they've changed. They return because you haven't. They chase you because you're special. They chase you because you were a predictable supply of emotional power. But the moment you become unpredictable, unavailable, and untouchably self-respecting, you stop being attractive to their darkness. You break the spell. If you want to understand the psychological weaknesses that make people fall for manipulators again and again, the ones you don't even notice in yourself, watch my next video. Because manipulators don't win because they're strong. They win because you don't realize where you are vulnerable. And in the next video, I'm exposing all of that.